Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video tutorial. Today we will be going over another central cannon versus less commonly seen counters. Today's spot is very interesting because we'll be discussing the elephant eye horse. Now this variation is seldom or almost never seen in high level tournaments because of many inherent weaknesses. However, it is very commonly seen in amateur matches and I'm sure the amateur would learn a lot from this spot. So without further ado, let us begin. Central cannon. Black opts to fortify his central file very early, and this will allow for the elephant eye horse to be played. Now with the elephant eye horse, the horse is played h8 plus 6 or h2 plus 4 to the elephant's eye in the palace. Now doing so, one of the advantages is that it will allow the horse to protect the cannon in this manner. However, this horse would actually find it hard to get further development. One common route is to play h6 plus 4, h4 plus 3, etc. But this horse would tend to get in the way of the black king and other pieces in black's territory. And if red played correctly, black would be all sorts of trouble. Now this counter was very popular back in the 1920s and 1930s, which is almost 100 years ago. Now, but it has greatly decreased in popularity ever since. Now, usually the recommended move for red to counter would be to develop his left horse as a proper horse. Now, this would greatly increase his overall attacking capacity, and this would also be the position of discussion for today's spot. Now h8 plus 7 is the recommended move. If let's say red played h8 plus 9, black will push the pawn, protect the chariot will protect the horse in this manner. 5, and black's formation is very stable. He has managed to organize a very powerful defense, and it will be more than sufficient to resist red's attacks. So h8 plus 9 is not a good idea. Neither would p7 plus 1 be, because if p7 plus 1, black could advance his cannon across the river and start to counter attack. Now let's say if red played p5 plus 1, usually p5 plus 1 or p3 plus 1. Now if red played p3 plus 1, because of the elephant eye horse, the chariot can now be developed as elephant chariot, immediately trying to take control of this file. So h8 plus 7. This is one commonly used approach. The cannon will now be protecting the horse, while the horse or the red cannon, after retreating, will be prepared to play c5 equals to 3. But black could have other plans in mind, and red will not have gained anything for his efforts. So that is why p3 plus 1 is not a good idea. Neither would p5 plus 1 be. Can be seen, black's chariot and cannon will now have control red's pawn rank. Chariot will be used to protect the horse, and both colors will be pinning each other. And in this situation, black can be satisfied with this situation because now the cannon and chariot have controlled this pawn rank, so that red would have to think twice before trying to develop either the horse to the central file. And his attack at this point in time will be slowly halted. So black would also have alpha equals to 3 as a potential play. So that is why h8 plus 7 is advocated, and this will be the position of discussion as mentioned earlier. Now faced with this, usually two variations were given in the book. The first would be p3 plus 1, the second would be p7. Okay, for variation A, p3 plus 1 is played. Now it will be recommended for red to attack the central file. This will be a very compact and tightly knit attack from the center. Now r9 plus 1 would be a little bit too slow because black would take the opportunity to counter attack with h3 plus 4. If red did not make move r9 equals to 6, there's always c8, c2 equals to 4. And if black attacked the horse, black would protect the horse in this manner, and he will still be able to guard this horse in this situation. The situation is complicated and unclear. It would be very hard for red to control the situation. So p5 plus 1 will be better, and black would usually counter with r9 equals to 8, hoping to push c8 plus 4 for a blockade. Now if h3 plus 4, we will attack the central file as planned. And this is a commonly used tactic where a pawn is sacrificed, and with this skewer, if the horse moved or the pawn moved, red will capture the central pawn, and now there will be two cannons attacking the central file. a6 plus 5, and black will continue his campaign from the central file. So red will be much better in the development of his pieces. As can be seen by the 10th ply, red had already mastered an attack on the central file, and black had not even moved either one of the chariots. So r9 plus 1, c8 plus 4, blockade. r9 plus 4, attacking the horse, and then followed by p3 plus 1 to allow r4 plus 2, red to attack with r4 plus 2, and black would try to counter aggressively with c2 plus 4. Now if black tried to play c2 plus 2 to prevent the central pawn from attacking, black will first dislodge the cannon, black retreat, try to limit the chariot. Red would simply play c8 equals to c8 minus 1, first of all to target the cannon, and as always c8 equals to 5 to attack the central file, etc. Red would have many options to continue, and he would have the initiative in this situation. So now since c2 plus 2 was played, black would sacrifice the pawn, denying the black cannons a cannon mount. So and black would be forced to play c8 equals to 3 to offer chariots. Now if black accepted, first dislodge the cannon, offers one of the cannons as sacrifice by advancing the horse, because he would have p plus 1. So black would gain material after trading p3 plus 1 to attack the chariot, but red would have r2 plus 5 to pin. After sacrificing, red would offer and his cannon again, attacking the central file, and this will be a check which black must deal with. If he moved the horse, the chariot will be lost. If he moved the advisor, the chariot will be the horse will be captured. Now if the elephant were moved, it would be even worse. Red would have a central cannon in waiting. He could then move his cannon to safety. Possible line will be a4 plus 5, capture. And now red will be attacking this very empty file, forcing the king out. As red will be threatening with a smothered cannon checkmate, c1 plus 3. And this will be a very beautiful move. Red would now have a winning position because, first of all, this chariot will be threatening to capture the cannon. If the cannon moved away, let's say c2 minus 6, c2 minus 5, sorry, red will play r4 equals to 6 for a royal pin. Also, there's always a threat of c1 minus 1 to deliver a check and capture the chariot. Red will gain material and win for sure. p3 plus 1, no good. c8 equals to 3, move made out of desperation. And red would simply accept the trade of chariots. Now he cannot attempt any mischief by playing r4 plus 7 because black would play r8 plus 9. He could also consider r1 equals to 6, but this would appear to be a much better move. So after trading chariots, now black would have control the pawn rank. His cannons will be attacking powerfully. And chariot will have to move, otherwise the horse would capture it. c3 plus 3, check. Now the pawn would be prepared to cross the river for attack. Black has lesser material, but his attack is now overwhelming. So as for red, although he gained material, but the overall losses he sustained would greatly outweigh the gains that he had made. So r4 plus 7, not a good idea. Red would be better off being honest and playing r2 plus 9. h6 minus 8. Although it would appear that black could have gained an elephant, but red's position is much more dynamic. And now the chariot is advanced to threaten the cannon, and black would play c2 minus 2. c2 minus 3 to attempt an attack over here is not a good idea because r4, red could play r4 equals to 6 to command this very important line. Threaten to attack the horse, the cannon, and also his horse would be prepared to go. So red would have seized the advantage. h7 plus 6, r1 equals to 4, black will be forced to move. If he tried to play the elephant I horse again, c8 equals to 7, the cannon will now be attacking the horse and also probably the in the same file. So after capturing the horse, red will gain material. So black would have a hard time dealing with this situation. After trading material, red gains a central cannon now. Now attack this flank, which is very vulnerable. So this will end variation A. Variation B, p7 plus 1 is played, whereby black will advance this pawn. Now this is with this move, black intends to move the chariot over here to attack, and this will be a continuation of this variation. This is one of the typical combinations that black could use in similar situations. So r9 plus 1, red develops his chariot as a ranked chariot. Now this the idea behind this move was again to target the elephant I horse and also lend support to this flank. His plan was clear. His strategy was distinct, and there was no nonsense in it. And red can be very situation with good prospects. So r9 equals to 7, r9 equals to 4, and this is another fallacy of the horse because it will become an obvious target of attack in many situations. Black protects the horse, p5 plus 1, and again red starts his attack from the central file. Another option would be to play r2 plus 4 to slow but very accurate attack, but it appears that p5 plus 4 would be better. Now at this point in time, it would not be a good idea to play r4 plus 6 because black could now move the cannon, r2 equals to 8 for a pin, 6 plus 5, and red will suffer. The chariot will now be lost because it cannot move, and black would have a winning position. So r4 plus 6 is not a good idea. p7 plus 1, p3 plus 1, 7 plus 5. Again, red attacks from a central file. h7 plus 5 will protect the horse and counter attack the black chariot. r7 minus 1, r4 plus 5. 8 equals to 7 to try to trade material. This horse is protected by this horse and the cannon, so this will be a trade. Now if black tried to play p3 plus 1, red would attack the central file mercilessly, and after sacrificing the pawn, he would retreat the cannon. Now, because the pawn had been sacrificed, this chariot would have cannot move here. He cannot move here. The only place where he can move is over here, and red's position is very dynamic. The black chariot is under heavy attack, and black would have all sorts of trouble. So, h2, threatening for a fork. 7 equals to 8. 7 equals to 8 to block the horse. Now, if black tried to play r7 plus 2 to attack the central horse, black could defend, protect the horse in this manner, and counter-attack the chariot again. And he would push the pawn across the river. Red would still have the advantage because now this horse would also be ready to go, and black will still have many things to worry about. What about c7 plus 7? After moving the advisor, the cannon is trapped. He does not have any good place to move, and it would be harmful to black's position or situation as a whole. So that is why R7 is equals to 8 is the better recommended move. R4 1, offering a trade. If black traded the chariots, the horse would gain momentum. As can be seen, red will be attacking mercilessly. The horse will now be threatening the chariot, and more importantly, you can also capture the central pawn for potential checkmate. Black would have all sorts of trouble trying to deal with the situation, and red will have a significant advantage by this point in time if this situation were reached. So let us go through this board from the eyes of black. Elephant eye horse. Now, beginners will like this because the horse will now be protecting both pawns at the same time. However, because of the awkward positioning of the horse, usually a chariot is needed to protect the horse, whereas if the chariot were used to attack, it will be put to better use. H8 plus 7, recommended move. H8 plus 9, not ideal. P7 plus 1, too slow. Black will be able to mount a counter attack. Position of discussion. Variation A, P3 plus 1. Red starts his attack from the central file. If R9 plus 1, black would have a chance to create a confrontational situation, and it will not be as easy for red to control the situation. 9 equals to 8, good move. H3 plus 4, too hasty. P5 plus 1, red have a powerful attack on the central file, and red will continue to develop his horse, and black will be all sorts of trouble. R9 plus 1, protect the horse. And C2 plus 4 to try to form a blockade, although it will appear very vicious, but red will simply play P7 plus 1 to break this blockade up. C3, because if P3 plus 1, red will gain material. There's a pawn, there's a check, a royal skewer to capture the chariot, so red will gain material and will win for sure. 9, after trading material, no hanky-panky. If R4 plus 7, red will actually be in all sorts of trouble. Minus 8, check, capture, but now red's chariot will now start to make its presence known, forcing the cannon back. If C2 minus 3, R4 equals to 6, and this cannon will this move would have been made in waste. C2 H7 plus 6, R1 plus 4. If black attempted the EI horse again, red will attack the horse again in this manner, and black would have a hard time dealing with the situation because of the potential attack along the central file. 6 plus 8, check, and red will now focus. There are many things that red could do. He could now attack the flank. The horse would be ill positioned, and it's also C9 equals to 1, etc. as potential, or C1 equals to 9 as a potential measure. So red would have a significant advantage by this point in time, and that is why the elephant eye horse, although very commonly seen in amateur games, is almost never seen in this format in actual or high level tournaments. Thank you, and I hope you have enjoyed. You have a nice weekend ahead, and please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.